Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how we can automatically convert our YouTube video transcripts into written blog posts, all with the help of make.com. All right, let's build this system together. Here we go. Okay, so let me just walk you through high level what we're going to be building today before we get into the nitty gritty and I show you every little detail and every little step of what we're going to do to build this thing out. So high level, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching our YouTube channels for new videos. So every time we post a new video, this automation will trigger. The next step we're going to do is we're going to send the URL of that new video into a tool called Appify. And Appify is essentially going to go to that YouTube video and grab the transcript for us. All right, it's going to do that all automatically. It's going to be our little secret agent out in the field. And once Appify is able to get our transcript for us, we're going to do a little bit of formatting here. And then we're going to send that formatted transcript into OpenAI with a nice, glorious prompt that we're going to type up together to write our blog post for us based off that YouTube video transcript. And then once we have our blog post written from OpenAI, we're going to just create a Google Doc where our blog post is going to live. Okay, and it'll look like something like this. So it'll be formatted, it'll look nice, and it'll be great. And guys, the links to all of these tools that we're using right now, they're going to be linked down in the description below for you. So if you want to get started real fast, just go down there, click the link, it'll bring you right where you need to be. Okay, so I have a new scenario here. I've just given it a title, get my YouTube transcript, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a YouTube trigger, and it's just going to be watch videos in a channel, okay? And I'm going to connect to my YouTube account. If you haven't done that already, you need to go up here and hit add and just connect to your account. Channel ID, for my example, I'm just going to be pulling my channel videos, but you could pull other channels' videos if you wanted to. You just need to look up the channel ID here with the ID finder. But for me, I'm just going to do me. And I'm going to leave these blank. I'm going to set the limit as 1 because I just want one video at a time. And that is good to go. And then what I'll do is I'll right click on this and I'm just going to hit choose where to start because I'm not posting a video right now. So I'm not going to be able to trigger this actually. But I want to do some testing. I want to build this out. So I'm just going to choose manually and choose my latest video, which is right here. And that way we can at least pull in some test data to work with here. But when I'm done with this scenario, when I'm done building it, I'm gonna wanna switch this to from now on. And that way, anytime in the future when I post a new YouTube video, this automation will trigger and we'll write a blog post for it, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna choose my latest video, get some test data in here. I'm gonna hit run. And okay, perfect. So we can see that we're pulling in the video. I've got my video ID. My description here, and so that is all good. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come into Appify, okay? And I'm going to have Appify linked down below. Again, it's just a great, I guess, marketplace where you can just kind of scrape websites and get data via all these API connections that they have set up for us, and they're called actors, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to search for an actor, and it's just called YouTube video transcript, I think. Yep, here it is right here. YouTube transcripts. Okay. And it's going to cost $5 for every 1,000 transcripts you pull. Again, we're going to be pulling 1, maybe a week, 2 a week if you're posting 2 videos a week. So you can see I've run this twice already. I've paid a penny. And I also get $5 free on the Appify free plan. So it's basically free. And so anyways, we're going to come here to YouTube transcripts. And how this works is essentially we're going to type in a YouTube URL here, and this bot is going to run out this agent and it's going to grab that transcript. Okay. So you really don't have to do anything here. Just put in a dummy value for now. And then all we're going to do is we're going to go to JSON here and we're just going to copy this code right here. Okay. So just Command C that and save that for later. And then all you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hit create task. Okay, so let's hit create task. And we're going to give it a name. And I'm going to hit continue. All right, and so at that point, if I come over here to actors, save tasks, you can see now that that actor is now in my task. Okay, and so we can run it now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back to our scenario. We're going to add in an Appify module. And this one is going to be run an actor. Okay, so we're going to run an actor. Again, you want to go add your Apify to make.com. To do this, if you haven't done it before, you're going to come down to Apify settings, and you're going to come to integrations, and your API key is going to be right there. And at that point, you can just come right back here and paste it in, and you'll be all connected and good to go. All right, we're going to go grab our actor, and it's going to be our YouTube transcripts actor. Okay. And then we're going to come down here to input JSON, and we're just going to paste. We're going to paste in what I told you to copy about a minute ago. Okay. And then what we're essentially going to do is we got to replace this URL with our video URL that we just posted. Okay. And so that way, this bot, this actor, will be able to dynamically go retrieve the transcript for whatever URL we put in here. And so to do that dynamically, what we're going to do is we're going to grab everything after this equal sign. So youtube.com/watch?v equals, and then we're going to replace that video ID with our video ID that we're pulling in from our first module. Okay. And so now every time we grab our latest video, this video ID tag will update, and our actor will go grab the latest transcript. Okay. So replace that like that. Should be good. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to run this one time here just to make sure that Apify is working. And so again, I'm going to go just choose some manual data here. I'm going to choose my latest video just so we have something to work with. And then I'm going to run this scenario, and we're going to see if Apify can go retrieve what we need. And it looks like it did, I think. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Okay, so we're going to hit save here, and then that is that for now. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go and create a new scenario. Okay. And the reason we're doing this is because we need to now essentially wait for this Apify module in our first scenario to run and complete. And then in our second scenario, we're going to actually like watch and see when that Apify actor is done, and then that'll trigger our second workflow. So it's a little two-piece system here that we got to build. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, again, search for Apify, and we're going to do watch actor runs. And again, you want to just set up your webhook here and your connection. And we're going to choose our actor, which again is our YouTube transcripts actor. We're going to hit save. All right, sounds good. And it looks like we've attached a webhook automatically. So we don't have to do anything there. We're going to hit OK. Okay, so essentially this right here will now trigger our second workflow when our first Apify module is done running. Well, this will detect that. It'll say, oh, you're back from the field. Here we go. Let's trigger our next workflow. Now, what we need to do here is we need to actually retrieve the data that these actors are giving us. So if you look here, back in our first scenario, we don't have the transcript here yet, okay? We have an actor that ran and got the transcript, but it hasn't given it to us yet. And so in order to do that, we're gonna have to drop in another Apify module, and this one is gonna be get dataset items. Okay, again, connect if you need to. And then what we need to do is we need to actually get the data that was retrieved by our actor before. Okay, and so for dataset ID, we're gonna scroll all the way down here, and we're gonna choose this default dataset ID field. Okay, and now we're good to go, because when I run this, now we'll actually pull in that transcript, and we could play with that transcript and feed that into OpenAI. Okay, so let's save this, and then let's just pull in some data here. So I'm going to run this, and then I'm going to go back to scenario 1, and I'm going to run this again, because again, scenario 2 only triggers once our Apify module in scenario 1 actually retrieves data. Okay, so again, I'm going to just choose some manual data here. Boom. And I'm going to run this. And okay, that ran. And so now we'll wait for this to finish, and then this will trigger here in a second. Okay, so there it triggered. And so you can see we have a status of succeeded here. So it's looking good. And then if we come to this module here, we should actually get our transcript. And so here it is. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how we can build an automated lead management system in make.com. That is a transcript from my video. So again, what we're doing here is every time we post a new YouTube video, our actor is going to go out to that video and retrieve the transcript, but it's not going to give it to us. And so once that's done retrieving the transcript, we're going to trigger a second workflow that is going to say, okay, that actor has returned. He has our transcript. So let's trigger it, but now we need to actually get it from that actor, okay, in the second module. And so we're looking good here. Now, if you can see, I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit. If you can see here, the transcript looks 95% good. But there's all these little sections here with like this and symbol, amp, semicolon number 39, and then another semicolon. And it's all over the transcript. And I think what this is essentially, if you go to YouTube and you look at a transcript, there's all those little like timestamps that kind of follow the transcript. I think that's what those are. And so all I want to do with our next step is get rid of those. Just clean this transcript up a little bit for OpenAI before we feed it in. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to drop in a tool module here, and we're going to just set a variable. And I'm just going to give it a variable name of transcript. And then our value, we're going to do a little bit of math here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this A button, and I'm going to come to replace. I'm going to drop in a replace formula. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace in our transcript, I'm going to replace those weird, and symbols, all those weird symbols, which I need to go grab. I forgot to copy. Give me a second. Let me go copy exactly what that thing is. So it's a and sign, amp, 39, and then a semicolon, semicolon. Okay. So I'm going to grab that, and I want to replace that. So I'm going to come back here. And so after our first semicolon here, I'm just going to paste that in. And then I want to replace, essentially we're going to replace that in our transcript with, and I'm just going to do empty string. Okay. And so again, this formula is in our transcript, we are going to replace this combination of symbols and letters with an empty string, with a blank, with nothing. Okay, so we're just going to essentially remove that. I'm going to hit OK. And then what I'm going to do here is, just so as we test here, I'm going to unlink this. And let's just use this as our trigger just while we test, so we don't have to run this actor every time and spend a penny every time we run it. And so I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to go grab my dataset ID, and we'll replace this at the end. But what I'm going to do is just come in here, grab my dataset ID, and then we can just run this manually for now while we test. Again, we'll reset that at the end. Okay, so now I'll run this, and so we're still pulling in our transcript, okay? And then we can see what we just did here with our variable, and you can see now that our transcript is all cleaned up. All those weird symbols are gone. Okay, so that looks really good, really clean. And now we can work with that. Now we can work with that in OpenAI. And guys, if you're ever overwhelmed with anything in Make.com, if this isn't making sense to you, or you want to build something a little more complex, hit me up down below. I've got my email down there for business inquiries, and I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you build out a more complex workflow so that you can kind of get your project over the finish line. So yeah, just hit me up if you need any help. That'd be awesome. Okay, so the next step here is we're going to come into OpenAI. We're going to drop in a module, and we're going to do create a completion. You're going to want to link your OpenAI account here if you haven't already. Okay, and you're going to need to be on a paid plan for this, I believe, and go drop in your API key. And then we're going to just create a chat completion. Model, I think I'm going to choose GPT-4o system. All right, and then I'm going to add a message. Role is going to be user. And then my message content. This is where we're going to prompt OpenAI to actually write our blog post for us. Okay, so I have a prompt written here, which is essentially just, kind of basic. You're a professional blog writer. You're an expert at taking YouTube transcripts and converting them to blog posts. Your peers look up to you because you're so smart, down to earth, funny, relatable, and you do just a great job distilling all the main points of a video into digestible sections. I'm going to feed you a YouTube transcript, and I want you to convert that transcript into a blog post. Yada, yada, yada. You guys can read all of this if you want. And then essentially we're going to drop in the transcript. And then I gave it 3 rules. 1, be conversational and friendly. 2, no weird formatting. And then 3, and very importantly, especially if we're using Google Docs here to actually like house our blog posts at the end of this workflow. We're going to write this entire blog post in HTML format. And that is how, when we feed it into Google Docs, we're going to get these big headings, the H1 headings, the H2 headings. You're going to get bullet points, bold, all that good stuff. So have OpenAI format its blog posts in HTML. That way, when you send it to Google Docs, it's all formatted and pretty. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy in this prompt. And guys, you can change this to, whatever you need it to be for your unique blog post writing. Okay. So this is kind of a basic prompt that I've just kind of whipped up for this video. But you can do whatever you need. You can make it more advanced, give it more rules, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And so I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop in the transcript. And again, we've set the cleaned up version of the transcript in our variable transcript. So I'm just going to drop that in there. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit here. Alrighty. Okay, that looks good. All right, so there's our prompt. I'm going to hit OK. Oh, sorry. And then the last thing I'm going to do is max tokens here. I'm just going to do 0. That way it can write as much as it needs to. All right, and then let's just run this and make sure OpenAI is writing blog posts for us. So I'm just going to hit run once. Again, we've hard-coded that data set ID, so it's just going to do the same one over and over for us while we test. We can see OpenAI here is writing our blog post for us. So we'll let that chug. All right, perfect. Then we can make sure that everything looks good. So content, you can see it's all written in HTML. And cool. So we've got intro, we've got setting up the lead capture form. So it looks like it's broken into sections. And so that looks pretty good. Okay. So we can again change our prompt if we need to refine the tone or the rules or whatever, but it's good enough for this video. And so the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to send this to Google Docs. Okay, so we're just going to send our blog post to Google Docs. All right, and we're going to create a document. And you want to connect to your Google account here, if you haven't. And then the name of our document, let's see, I don't think I have any good fields here to feed into it from this end of the scenario. So I'll probably just, I'll just probably do blog post and then maybe the date. Let's do a timestamp. Okay, that'll be good. That'll be good enough. All right, then the content of our Google Doc is going to be our actual output here from OpenAI. So this content. All right, and then we're going to just choose a drive in Google. And so I've created a folder called blog posts in my Google Drive, and I'm just going to create the document there. Okay, I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to just come back. Oops. I'm just going to come back here and reconnect this. Okay. And then we'll auto align it. And then I just need to come in and replace this data set ID back to the dynamic field, which is our default data set ID. Okay. Okay, so this is looking good. I'm going to hit save. And now let's do a full test. Okay, so I'm going to come to my second scenario here, my write YouTube blog post scenario. I'm just going to click run. Okay. And again, we're doing this because we have to wait for the agent in our first scenario to finish. So we're going to run this. And again, when you're done with this scenario building it, if you're building this live for your own business, you won't have to hit run every time. We'll actually just turn this scenario on and it'll always just look and wait for that webhook to fire. Okay. So you don't have to click that every time in the real world, just while we test. Okay, so this is going to be running. And then we're going to come back to our first scenario here where we're going to get our YouTube transcript. And again, I'm going to choose where to start just so we can manually pull this in for now. And I'm going to do this top one here. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to run this thing. Okay, so we're getting the YouTube URL. We feed that URL into our agent. Okay, and so you can see this all worked well here. We're going to come back to our scenario. It's going to run for a second. All right, and there it goes. And so it detected that other agent in scenario 1 finishing. We then get the transcript from our agent here. We replace all those weird symbols in our transcript here just to clean it up. and then we send that cleaned transcript into OpenAI, and it writes our blog post for us in HTML format, and then we create a new document in Google. Okay, and so that looks like it ran perfectly. I'm gonna come to blog post. So you can see we've got a new one right here. I'm gonna open it up, and here we go. So we can see we've got a little bit of extra something here. I'm just gonna delete. But here we go. So this is how you automate lead management in Make.com, a step-by-step guide. And again, this is a blog post written from the video transcript that I posted a couple days ago. So it's pretty cool. And so you can see we have an overview of the workflow, and then kind of step 1 and 2, how you set up the type form and the integration. And you want to send your data to Pipedrive. This is all the video tutorial I made 2-3 days ago. Okay. And so you can see it's all formatted. It looks good. There's a wrap up at the end. We got a couple little weird apostrophes down there. And so that's it, guys. We've just automatically created a blog post based off the YouTube video we just posted live on our site. It's sick. It's really sick. And again, we could send this to Webflow if we wanted to post automatically on our websites. We could review it for formatting and make sure we're good with it before we publish it ourselves. There's a whole lot of things you can set up now once you have the content to kind of build out your blog posting workflow. But this is hopefully a good foundation for you guys to start to build a system like this. Now, again, when we're done here and we want to actually make this go live, we're just going to, toggle this on just like that. And then the same thing with this scenario here. We just toggle this on and make sure that our YouTube module is looking for videos from now on. And then you're good to go. Then it'll just all happen automatically forever. So that's it, guys. That's how you can automatically convert your YouTube videos into blog posts all automatically in Make.com. So Make.com is the best tool you can use. It's so visual. It's so easy to figure out and learn things. They've got a great online community with people asking questions if you ever get stuck. And it's just incredible. So if you're looking to build out automations, I would start at Make.com. Okay, I'll have all these links down in the description below for you if you want to sign up. If you guys like this video, go down and smash that like button for me. That would help me out a lot. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. It would be great to have you aboard. If you have any questions for me on this workflow, get down in the comments and let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.